coming. Today is 25th of January, Wednesday. Present is the entire board, trustees Figueroa, Galante, Minko, Bucko, and myself. This is a continuation
Yes.
for the trustees.
Can you speak
Hold on,
up?
please.
We can't hear you.
All right, this is a meeting, basic setup. It was for the trustees to go over the budget, because we have another budget that we went through again, and made some reductions again, because that's usually how it works. It works through phases. It goes from the mayor's office to the trustees, and then after that, there's meetings set up back and forth between them, and also maybe the department heads. First budget that went through, for those of you who may have heard that it was 21%, the reason for that was because that was with everything that everybody wanted, a wish list. So you know as well as I do, every child will turn around and ask for so many toys, they're only going to get something. The same thing works here. We turn around and we go over the budgets. So that was the first phase of it. The second phase is that it goes from the mayor, and it goes from the mayor to the trustees. The trustees are meeting on the 29th to go over the budget of December. At that particular time, they did make some reductions in the budget, and they came up with, and they managed to get it down at that point, and it's not fine, this is all tentative yet, and they got it down to that point to 12.4, and so to 21. After they got that done, we had a small meeting, well, we couldn't have really a meeting because all the trustees weren't there on the 5th of December, it's January, I'm sorry. So there's no progress on that one. Came back to me after I got it with 12%, which was unacceptable, of course. Went through the budget again, and with the help of our fund balance, we were able to get it down to 5.7. Now, the reason for this is that I was doing some research in other areas, mostly all the other counties and villages and whatnot. It's really coming to light to where they're all struggling. South Pullman Grove used $100,000 of their fund balance. Pullman Grove used $600,000 of their fund balance to try to keep the numbers down. This is happening all over the state. The 2% cap tax is really not a 2% cap tax. They give us a number every year of what we're supposed to be due to the fact that where we fall in the category of our yearly expenses. Ours is March 1st to February 3rd to the 28th. Ours was supposed to be 1.008. We listened to the people at the last budget hearing, the actual hearing that was opened and closed, okay, on the 17th. And we took things into consideration there. Plus, we went back over and looked at our budgets ourselves. The thing is that when we heard the people, we heard what they were saying. We know the village is getting old. It's old. Things are happening to it. And you cannot survive anymore on restrictions from the state. The state is trying to tell you to use 1%. It doesn't bring in any revenue. Unfortunately, in this village, most of the revenue comes from homeowners and some businesses. We don't have a tax base like many other villages or towns, especially towns. We don't have that income coming in to help offset the cost to the homeowners. That was also taken into consideration. We've tried it, what the governor wanted to do. And I think we have, I can find it here. Tried to stay within that 1%, which we did. last two we had, one was 1.3. 15-16 was 1.3. The 16-17 that we're in now is 1.0045. And that stays within the cap tax by a penny, believe it or not. But this is something that I think now we're hearing the voice of the public, that they want more things done in the village. That's fine, but unfortunately, when I listen to the governor's tape, he says, well, yeah, it's a cap tax, but well, the public wants more services or whatever they want, they can override the tax cap. Now, before that, when we knew we were staying within the cap tax, we did an override. The override was done simply because we were doing it for calculatory reasons, in case there was something we wanted to put in the calculations. So that's the reason why we had done it then. Now it's a little bit different. I knew that this budget was going to be a tough one. And we can't survive on 1% anymore. It's not going to happen. Basically, I'm looking at it as, okay, we're going to try to do what we can to try to make it as reasonable as possible. It's the village tax. It's not the town tax. It's not the school tax. It's not the county tax. It's the village tax. The villages are your main services here in the village. They're the first line of defense. So we took that into consideration as well. What this meeting is about today is between the trustees. I have the option of saying with or without the public. I can say no public comment because we already had public comment on the 17th. However, in conferring with a few of the trustees and thinking about it, I says, okay, this is what we'll do. We're going to discuss the budget here, what we have now, what we put in place, or at least what I put in place now, because I went back over the budget. I went over the budget and I checked out after the one that was 12.4. I come up with another $18,615 of reductions. There isn't much more you can cut in this budget before it really cuts into the services that you're trying to get. With that, in checking with our accountant, we can use a reserve of $200,000 to help offset this. And that's why we got down to this, at least I got down to this particular portion. I keep saying we because now I know about it. So, we get down to this portion where it's 5.754. 5.4%. Now today what we're going to discuss is see we're going to stay around that number because years ago, just to know what the average was around anywhere from 2.9 to 4.5 of an average yearly. We went back quite a few years in this 15-year trend. However, again, what we took into consideration, or I took into consideration, is the fact that back then, people had good incomes. People were doing very well. People really never minded. Some of you who have been here a while may have noticed that people used to turn around and call the village tax. Oh, that's the small tax. When I first ran for trustee, my first time and getting on board, I voted no for the first budget when I was on, which I wasn't very popular with the board at that time. Winko, remember that. And I just felt as though, I was thinking of the older people that were living here trying to hang on to their homes at that time. And I'm talking about 2005. So basically, all this is taken into consideration with me, and I'm sure hopefully with the trustees. We're trying to make sure that we try to keep people here. We have too many homes for sale. We have too many abandoned homes. We have too many homes that are for foreclosure. Yes, the incomes aren't here anymore, like it used to be. And the grants that we try to get, we have gotten back letters from grants when we tried for the past few years, actually longer than that, maybe 6 years, is that we're considered a medium to high income area. So there's a lot of grants we don't qualify for. It's far and in between. I'm I'm working out, as you know, basically, what's not in this budget right now is the $250,000 sweeper. Thank God we got a grant for that. And that'll be coming probably after I leave office, it'll probably be delivered by then, because then the money will be released by the state. I know that Mr. DeVinco wants me, and has me trying to put in more grants through the senator's office to see what we can get that way. Those grants sometimes take time. You don't get them overnight. You don't turn around and say, oh yeah, you got to get, it'll take up to, what is it, 18 months or something, 15 months? I mean, that's a whole term of the trustee before something gets here. I just want you to know that that's what we're thinking about all the time, and that we're worried about all the time, because this is supposed to be a community, a family community. Okay? That's why we like people to shop locally, to try to keep our businesses here. But unfortunately, as I said many times at other meetings, we're on our own. We're not going to get that much help. We only get a few $1,000s, I'm talking $2,000 or $3,000 extra for roads. We have some 37 miles of road, something like that, and $40,000 does not go far, as you can see. And that's for roads, curbs, sidewalks, it's just not there. I really believe wholeheartedly that why this is happening, and this is basically a known fact now, is that the governor wants villages and towns to incorporate. They want them to consolidate their services. How that's going to work out, I'm not quite sure. Apparently it didn't work out too well for South Woolman Grove, because they still have to go out and get contracting services. So their taxes did not go down. People who mention that to me about consolidating, I tell them, do yourself a favor, just go down to South Woolman Grove and see how it worked out for them. Coming from the horse's mouth. But what I want to let you know is that in looking at this and going through the budget, it's just getting tougher and tougher, and I've gotten, it even comes from NICOM, which is the Conference of Mayors, saying the same thing, that this is a real price to pay for the past 3 years of trying to stay sub 2%, combined with zero increases from state aid and no relief from unfunded mandates. We have to pay for mandates. We have no choice. They have to come out. We have to pay for it. Retirement, medical, whatever. Plus, you get hit with the tax too, which is the MTA tax. What do we get for MTA tax? So there's a lot of things we have to fork up for that becomes part of the budget already. And I'm not trying to finger point on anything, but our police department basically is almost half of our budget, maybe 49% of our budget. But you see, yeah, I know. But they bring in some sort of revenue due to the traffic summonses and whatnot that they get. Our building department has helped out now because they're bringing in Genie. Before that, we averaged $500 a year in permits. Looking back over files, now she was pulling in, first year she came in, she pulled in $39,000 or $40,000. And also doing the job of fire inspector. So she has been an asset to the village. That's an intermunicipal agreement. That intermunicipal agreement is, I'm going to be bringing that up on February 6th to basically re-up on it. But Mr. Fromaghan only wants to do 1 year because he doesn't want to actually do it because he's not running for supervisor either. And he doesn't want to put that on the next supervisor to have to do it. He'd rather let them do it. So we'll take what we can get it to. So it'll work out. But I just want to let you know that before we get into this with the trustees, if they have any, I'll be dealing with them right now, and I'd appreciate it if you hold your comments mentally or write it down or something like that. But right now, as we stand, we're going to be discussing the budget. It's 5.742729, and that is tentative. That would be, as it stands right now, it would be like $2.63 per thousand on property owners. So at this particular time, I think I counted yes. What I'm going to do now is open up the special meeting. Trustees. I would ask the trustees to remember one thing. This number I just gave you, based on what they say now, what they add, what they subtract, will decide the number going up or down. We won't know that figure until we get whatever numbers we get here. If they feel as though, or the public, after we get done, feels as though that might be a reasonable figure, then we could even vote on it today. But what I want to do is open it up now to the trustees. And let's start.
Yeah.
Trustee Bucko.
You mentioned that we were going to use $200,000 out of the reserve fund. What is the reserve fund right now?
Over 300,000.
Okay.
I believe that's the latest count I got from Jennifer, but she says that could go on.
Okay, and we also need to keep the contingency of probably the $130,000. Now, by taking the money from the reserve fund, is that going to affect the writing the state the check for the street sweep? Okay, remember, we have to give that out and then wait to get it back. Okay, back in December, you gave a budget of 21%. Late in December, it came down to 12.4%. Now you're looking at 5.74%. How did that happen?
Because, as I mentioned in the beginning, it was the wish list of all the departments.
Okay, so let's just go with the 12% down to the
Okay.
5.7.
Well, okay, hold on. If a trustee has a question to ask you.
Could I answer that, Mr. Bucko?
Sure.
I think I have the answer. Mr. Bucko, when you started with the 21%, you brought down at that meeting, that was myself, trustee DeVinco, Mayor Hines, and trustee Figueroa. You had said to all the department heads, put in whatever you feel that you may need at this time to move you along. And that's like a department head does. Thank you. Oh, God, I'll put everything on. A new truck, a new sweeper, a new generator, a new this and that. And then when we decided that, we turned around and we said, that's way too high. 21% tax rate, that's unbelievable. So we said, let it go back to the mayor. The mayor went back, he did some additional cuts, additional ideas of it, and he brought it down to 12%. We had a second meeting at 12%. At that meeting was trustee DeVinco, Mayor Hines, trustee Gillespie, and trustee Figueroa. Trustee Bucko did not attend. He excused himself, he sent an email, he couldn't make it. We made no decision at that time. The mayor, he said, we as a trustee said, Mayor Hines, did you go back and do anything better than this? 12%, I says, I will not, me personally and the other trustee says, 12% is too high. Can you do any better? He went back to the drawing table and reported back to tonight's budget, which is 5.75%, which this board right now has a decision to lower it or increase it, which I think is a fair amount. And that's where we stand at this point, and that's how we got to this part of that. Huh? Okay.
Sorry.
And
We used to talk it to you, but
Yeah,
we're not ignoring you. What we're gonna do.
That's right. And that's where trustee DeVinco, we came to this part of.
Right, okay, now, I remember a little bit differently. The 21% was the budget that the mayor had given us the day before New Year's Eve. The four trustees, myself, trustee DeVinco, trustee Figueroa, trustee Galante, department and Pat Rowley, department head Chris Martino.
Correct.
We sat at that table right there, and it was brought down to 12.40%, which is the budget that was presented the other night at the hearing.
And it was not accepted, it was not accepted, as far as some of us trustees, in fact,
No.
no, oh, yes, no, I quoted to you, Mr. D'Amico, at that meeting, I quoted to you, I said, Mr. Bucko, I said, Mr. Bucko, I am not gonna vote for this 12%, I can go back to the table myself and bring it down to at least 6%, I said. Anybody recall that is what I said? And the mayor went back, and he did better than me, he brought it down to 5 3/4%.
Okay, here, now,
Okay.
okay, thanks, Chuck. Over the past 4 years, with this budget of 5.7, it's an average per year of 8.25%, okay? So we're really not concerned about tax caps given from the state, because twice, we're not even thinking about it, okay? If we look through the budget, Okay,
Mr.
hold on.
Bucko, I
I'll give you
think,
the
no,
time.
I want to go back to your quote in the article in the newspaper, Mr. Bucko, because I do want to correct you on that.
go ahead.
Okay, Mr. DeBucco, trustee Bucko, you said, Bucko told Mayor David Hines over the past 4 years, taxes will have gone up an average of 10% each year.
Right.
So in reality, you have disregarded the tax cap over the past 4 years and misquadrated the raising of taxes by a huge amount in your first year and now in your last. That, Mr. Bucko, is incorrect,
Okay.
because I don't know where you got your numbers from, but I did, so I,
You want to go over them? 25,
no, the numbers that you have quoting are here the years that you're talking
yeah,
about.
25%.
Well, let's go, okay, here's
When
the
we
4
welcome you
years, 4
in.
years back, let me read them off here.
Go ahead.
2013-14, 3.72%. 2014-15, 25.06%. 2015-2016, 1.30%. 2016-2017, 1%. I took these percentages, if that's the way you're doing it, which I don't know, I took these percentages and I added them up. It comes to 31.093649%.
You're forgetting the 12.4%.
You said 4 years. You're talking 4 years. I'm quoting the article in the paper, 4 years.
4 years, yes. The first
The
year,
4 year
14,
trend is
15,
here.
25%.
Here's the 4 years.
Yeah.
One,
No, your first year was 2014, 15, 25%,
yes, go ahead.
okay? 1.3%,
Yes.
1.0045%, and then the 12.4%. If you add that up,
12.4% is not even in effect.
hold on. As the
How
time
could,
of
wait,
that,
Mr. Bucko, no, you're wrong there, Mr. How can you make a projection on a budget that's not even been adopted? How could you 17, 18?
we presented it to the public.
No, you did, that wasn't a percentage.
That is the budget you have to give to the public, because that's the day of the hearing.
That was not the
If this
budget.
budget was at the date of the hearing, they would have had this budget.
Yep.
And you're quoting also,
You're
what is
quoting-
that? This one here,
Yeah,
that 3.7? You quoting that?
What's the 3.7?
well, that's the 4 years you're talking about.
14,
You can't,
14,
how could you
15.
project this year when the budget's not even been
That's the
adopted?
budget you used.
That 14, 15. 14, 15 was not my budget, that was Mayor Hudson. I inherited that budget,
Yeah, oh, okay.
so it wasn't my budget. And I voted against that.
All right, well, who else voted against it? It
Yes,
passed.
Mr. DeVenka.
All right.
There was 3 other people.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just to go back, just to go back, no, let's clear the air. Just to go back with the numbers that you're projecting, you said 4 years. And I'm quoting the article that you said in the paper, you're going back 4 years. You can't count 17, 18 because it's not even budgeted. So you gotta go 16, 17 down for 4 years. So on the 4-year average, 2013-14 was 1.38%. 2014-15 was 9.27, dollar-wise. I'm talking dollars. 2015-16 was 65 cents per thousand.
Let's go percentage. Let's go percentage. That's how
That's
budget.
dollars. I'm talking dollars.
What's the percentage?
The percentage of that, it would have been, let's see, 14, 15, 16. 1560, 1.30%.
1.30.
Right. The dollar amount was 65 cents. In 2016-17, what we're in now, was raised 45 cents projectively per thousand cent value. So over the 4-year span, the amount of taxpayers were paying only $11.76 per thousand. Divided by 4, that's only $2.94 per year increase. Where do you come up with 10% or more?
Explain to you now. Okay?
From the dollar amount, how is it coming?
From the 25 to 1.3, 1.0045, and the 12.4. So now let's take the 5.7. You're still at 8.25%. Okay?
And the dollar amount?
Over the,
How do you
forget
project?
the dollar amounts. Talking about percentages. Okay? Forget the dollar amount.
Percentages of what?
The percentage of the tax that's being increased.
The tax amount, the tax dollar amount.
The percentage of the taxes that are being increased.
Dollar
Right now,
amount.
we have an average, forget the dollars. Say what percent.
What are you basing your 10% on, what I want to know? That's what's
You
confusing
can't do
me.
that.
Oh, we
If
we
we're
don't,
doing, you're trying to stay within a cap tax of 1%.
okay.
That's not our fault, that's the
It
state's
doesn't
fault.
matter.
Wait, it does matter, because
Well, let
you
me
can be
keep going.
penalized if you go
Let me
over
keep
it.
going.
And don't do an override. Mr.
Let me-
Hudson didn't do an override. and
He's
it
not
caused the
here
village-
anymore. Let's stop bringing up what happened in the
Excuse me,
past.
you brought it up because basically over
Okay.
here, you got that fiscal year in there, okay?
We've got the fiscal year, we haven't even decided yet.
Can I ask you a question?
Right.
I mean, listen, history is history.
No, it's
To
not
me, that's-
history, it's active.
Well, it is history. It is history, and that's water under the bridge. We're trying to work on the 17-18 budget. I would rather spend our time, and for the people that
Me too.
are here, concentrate on the 17-18 budget, make our comments, and either look at adopting this, or take it back, tweak it, and have another meeting to make the adoption based upon these conversations. All right? Because talking about the past doesn't really do much. You can trend it, you can bend it, but we are where we are, right, at the end of the day. If somebody wants to sit down and we talk history, we can sit down and talk history, but I think everybody's here to talk about this adoption of this particular budget. So let's stick to this.
Yes.
All right,
I
let's
just want to leave
concentrate on
one
the
note,
end, just
one note. I
move it
just
together.
want trustee DeVinco, I want to leave one note for trustee Buckle. I want him to explain to me, and I'm ready to sit down with him, which way he calculated. My calculations showed out that we just, in the 4-year trend that he's quoting the years in the article, I come up with just a little over 7.75%.
We can explain
We
it.
can argue
Okay,
that.
so let's,
Where does he come in 10%?
don't worry about it. Take it offline, we'll worry about it
That's what I
another
wanted
day.
to show
You
me.
guys want to sit down at the table, have a coffee, and figure out.
When you say 10 and I say 17.
Let's go to,
Hold on a second, listen,
what's that?
I got the budget, I got the budget here and I got it down, I knocked off 19 cuts extra. Do you have any cuts? Yeah, off this one? Or you wanna look at it?
No,
You don't have any further cuts?
no, how could you cut it? First of all,
That's exactly what I mean. That's
let me
exactly what I
continue, okay? On the 123 budget that we just received 2 days ago, we have $713,000 in needed water sales. The budget that we got a copy of, 113, there was more needed water sales of 519,578. Talking with Chris Martino, who is now handling the needed water sales, okay? He's saying the actual number over the past year, and he took January of 16, because January 17 is not out yet, an actual number of 415,432. All right? That's a big difference. That's a really big difference between those two. Let's go, no, not yet, you can't answer yet.
Underwater.
Underwater,
You
okay?
still underwater?
Yes. Now I'm going to sue.
No,
No,
let's
let-
answer the water
Let's
first.
say we do.
Why don't we, gentlemen, why don't we either stick with the A fund, which is
That's
the
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 tax
main
fund,
fund,
yes.
and then if we can get to the water, and then we'll
Trustee
get to there, but
DeVinco,
run
I
through them
agree, the A fund,
individually.
Let's
Let's not jump around, because
Mr.
it gets way too
DeVinco,
confusing.
main
This
board
is
of
the one, the
trustees.
A fund. The A fund is the one, the A fund is the one that.
The water and sewer, the
It's
water and
been,
sewer.
has it been practiced in this village to borrow off the water and sewer fund? Has it been practiced?
Once it did, one time during my 10-year event.
Okay, so now that you have fake numbers in
What do you mean
the water,
fake numbers?
in the water, are we borrowing off the water to help the A fund later
No.
on down the road?
No,
I know we can't do that, okay? But the other night, we mentioned that there was $850,000 that was taken out of the facilities. And Joe, you said back in 1995, there was a resolution passed to keep all the all of the facility charges in that account, but no one had ever followed it. Okay.
nobody ever put the money in the account, that's right.
So you're still on track. We're talking
Let's stay
about
with
the
the
A
A,
fund.
let's stay with the
That's
A.
the A fund.
Okay.
I mean,
That's, I know,
Well, let's go to
These
the,
people want to know what their taxes are going to be, that's what they're looking at.
I think we should spend at least a few more, give me 3 more minutes with trustee Bucko about the water fund. The water fund, that the projection that you're seeing there, Mr. Bucko, I want to let you know, was presented on with the Chris Martino, what you said, when you said, how come it's so high than what he was telling you, it was, the fourth quarter was not given in yet. So that was roughly about 130,000 that had to be added to that. That was added to that. Plus what we added to that was a projected increase of raising the water rates. If you look at all the municipalities around.
Don't even bring up raising water rates or sewer rates because Goshen is higher or Chester is higher. We don't live in Goshen, we don't live in Chester, we live in the village of Washington. Okay, so let's not even bring up raising water, okay? So, let's stay with, now,
You
Go with the A.
gentlemen, let's get to the A fund, please.
You
the
have no
assist,
cuts.
the assistant to the court clerk, okay, we had $12,000 in there, January 13th. Now, we asked for a transfer of $6,000. Justice McKay and Justice Smith had said to me, I need the $12,000 back in there. And I gave him my word. Dave, I remember you saying to me, oh, we really don't have to do that. Yes, we do have to do that. I gave him my word. You cut $2,000 off,
Yeah, let me ask you something.
okay?
Can I answer that?
And
Who asked for the who asked for the $6,000?
we did.
No, not we. Who asked for the $6,000?
I asked for the $6,000.
Right, you went in there and asked for the $6,000.
Correct.
What was the reason you wanted to do that?
Because we needed to fix the pedestrian,
Why didn't you take it out of the contingency fund?
okay?
Well, the money's in there for that reason. Why didn't you go to the contingency fund?
No, you
It's
took it
a
out.
budgetary item, why did you go to?
Hey, gentlemen, this meeting is to go over the budget numbers, not
So-
argue back and forth about transfers and individual.
Tom, it's gonna come to that, Tom, because trustee Bucko happens to make inaccurate accusations, and I think this board has the right to correct him.
So,
He's done it
the
on a
simple
few
question
occasions.
is,
He should be
if
corrected.
it was budgeted for 12 last year, he's getting 10 this year,
Has to be
and the
12.
reason would be why?
If and when he wanted an assistant clerk.
Okay, so the 12,000 was for assistant clerk. They didn't hire anybody last year. Halfway through the year, we borrowed
No, he
60.
didn't hire anybody for the past 4 or 5 years.
Exactly, but the money is there if,
Right,
and when
he's
he's
got
ready to go.
10,000,
So now he has $10,000.
right.
Okay, you said 12.
Okay, so everybody's taking a pinch in some way or another. He's losing $2,000. He's gonna have to budget his time appropriately for court clerk.
Trustee DeVinco, a lot of department heads lost thousands of dollars in there, they have to live with it, so every department head has to live with what we do.
Right, so go through,
You can't give them what they wish.
gentlemen.
Joe, I did ask you if they had any cuts. You know,
Now, I don't have any cuts. I want to know how come, how did we get down to 5.7? And I'm glad. 5.7 is okay, not great, but I still think it's not a correct budget,
well, what would you deduct?
okay?
Did you deduct that?
I-
You said you didn't want it.
Well, what else can you do?
Mr. Bucko, will you wake it up, will you say it's not? Tom, this is amongst trustees, Tom, and I think it's right that we do we do question each other. When you say it's not a correct budget, in what respect? What's not correct? Well, then go line by line. No, let him go line by line.
He says he has no reduction to auction. Okay, that's fine, that's your right. Mr. Domingo, do you have any deductions you want to take? You went over this, did you see anything there, maybe we can tweak it, take it,
So, under legal, we put money aside for moratorium for legal expenses. That is,
Which, excuse me, Mr. Domingo, I know I'm very talkative, but I want to be talkative because that's what this meeting's about. And I've done research on his budget like we all did.
okay?
And I want to I just want to come back and make a quote by Mr. Buckle, who said at a Robert meeting that we did not budget no money for the moratorium. And at that time,
All right, so my point, the things to look at is one is the moratorium money for $35,000. So for the audience's sake, what we're trying to do is do a moratorium, which means put a freeze on building, et cetera, so that we could go back and reevaluate our zoning codes while we're in this moratorium. This money was being set aside for legal, for attorneys' dollars, as well as probably trying to get a planner to help us with the moratorium, putting together our overall plan of what we want to see this village to become over the next 10, 15, 20 years. So that's the $35,000 that we can put down and look at. That was account A142040.
it's on page 3 at the
It
top.
wasn't in the first, it wasn't in the last budget, you are correct.
all right,
Okay.
the reason why you want to leave the budget.
And everything-
No, I want to answer that.
Hey,
Why wasn't it in
my
there?
turn. Thank you.
It wasn't in there because we
Okay. Under police full-time night tip, there was, I'm going through the budget, mentioning what I'm
What page on this is the
Sure, I'm on page. All I want done on that line item is $1.7,000. I want to know, out of those dollars, as far as regular pay, what was the rest of the contract? All right, so I sent an email to Bridget asking her that question, just to make sure we're in line. Right. Right. The overtime line item of $148,000 has been answered by the chief because of our current situation with our couple of full-timers that are out on injury, paid leave, etc. Our overtime budget has creeped up, and it's actually about 160 to date. Okay, so just everybody knows that number is a large number, but we've exceeded it due to staffing issues, injuries on the job, that type of thing. Everything else below that in the police line item budget is within a couple of $100. You have the paperwork in front of you, you can follow along on that particular page. On page 5, we authorized an addition of $2,700 for a radar unit. I understand that radar unit is replacing one that's broken, non-functional, and cannot be repaired. So, a little bit below that, there's a Ford lease payment, 2 cars, $38,000, because I believe the chief is looking for 2 new additional police cars. We can have that conversation. I'd like to know from him the 2 cars that we're looking to replace and the maintenance records on those 2 particular vehicles. That is A3120422.
38,000 is payments for the two lease cars that he's got now. That's that he's asking for. He's not asking for no two lease cars.
Okay.
These are the 2 cars that they have now that released from
Then I was just going to question the jump from 23,000 to 38,000.
That should not be questioned because those 2 cars are the least of what we're
Okay.
paying now. They
It
already
was
have.
described, or if I understood it, my apologies, but it sounded like they were looking
No,
to purchase
they're not
some more.
looking for no two.
Okay.
That's what we already have.
So we need to validate the jump then, and why we're at 38, okay? So let's check that one out. And also, folks, that number at the bottom of the total law enforcement on the bottom of page 5 is gonna look more inflated because if you notice, if you're looking at the same thing I am, on the 2016-17 budget, where if you go back to the overtime, where you see the 148.5, the column to the left, they had either a bug or somebody accidentally deleted that number, the overtime number that was budgeted in this current fiscal year. At overtime, A312010. So if you go down to page 5, again, the law enforcement total is going to be, right, that 1.5 should be with an additional $148,000. That's what the budget is. All right. I went through traffic, I went through safety, everything was pretty much in line with those other previous year's budget. I mean, it was literally $2,000 difference in cost. I didn't have any comments on that. Public health, I didn't have any questions on that. That was exactly the same. Highway administration, which is DPW. I went through that. One thing that we discuss is it's on page 7 now, is the brush chipper maintenance, for $58,000. For the audience, the chipper we have is a broke, died. It's so old it's really not even probably
Small,
worth
Mr.
fixing.
Domenico,
Right.
small, they definitely need it.
The issue with it, it's undersized for the type of brush and things that we deal with. But the one thing I mentioned to the board, and I think we need to press Chris and everybody else to look at, rather than buying new, let's look at the state website for secondhand equipment that really has not a lot of hours on it. I'm not looking at buying garbage, but you can buy something like that online for $35,000 or less and spend the $58,000. A dump truck brand new is $175,000. I've seen dump trucks for $35,000, $40,000. So we could save ourselves a ton of money, but the mileage that we put on these things get at least 5 to 8 years, hopefully, if it's mechanically in good shape, and then we do the right thing there.
Mr. Mayor, I like to answer the trustee.
Can I continue?
Let's not jump on Mr. Domenico.
I'm not jumping, I'm.
Let me answer the
down.
question that you talked about buying a new truck and new chip. I understand that, yes, you can get these bargains if you look online, but sometimes it's not a bargain. You're buying somebody else's headache.
Joe, I
No,
hear
no, let me
exactly what you're
finish.
saying.
Let me finish.
My
No,
expectations are we're gonna go after a truck or whatever
Let
the
me
piece of
finish
equipment is,
what I want to say
and make
first.
sure that it passes inspection, that it qualifies for what we need it to do, and it operates.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
I'm not looking at buying a piece of junk that's rusted through the bottom. I'm looking for a truck that will run and operate and do what we need
I
to
just
do.
want, you bring your point, I like to bring my point out as a trustee.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand you're looking to save money, you probably can get 2 for 1 the price of 1. But I look at it in this perspective, Mr. DeVinco, trustees, Mr. Mayor, we're all on board with what I'm looking at, is that, yes, it's possible you can get a good deal on that, but then you take, for instance, you buy a truck and you get it half the price, and it's 10 years old, but it's in good shape, it was well kept, it was washed nice, it was cleansed nice, it looks good. Then all of a sudden, you got it for 3 years, that's when all hell breaks loose. At the end of 3 years, you buy a brand new truck, you know, you got a 5-year warranty, you got so many parts on transmission and all. In the long run, you bought the other one, yes, you bought it for less price, but in 3 years, it went kaput on you, and all of a sudden, you got your hands full of expenses to put it back. You buy the new one, you got your warranty, you're set, you're great, fine. Your way is money saving, but it's
if I was to put over $100,000 in
It
repairs
doesn't,
to a
it
truck,
doesn't work sometimes.
and shame on me, but I would never do
I
that.
would disagree. I would say buy it new and you know what you
Well-
bought, you're brand new and you're safe. Like a new car.
We get to that
Buy
point
a
in
new car,
time,
you're safe for 3 years.
and that's the reason I've asked the mayor to put, we got the quote, we have $175,000, we have the spec sheet on the vehicle. All we need is the letter that we can send off, and if it takes 15 months to get a new truck, 2 new trucks for that price, and it's a grant, then guess what? There's nothing paid on the backs of these taxpayers, and if I have to spend $35,000 or $50,000 on a dump truck to get it through a 2-year window, I think that's a fair investment.
And what? Oh, the idea that you're gonna get a grant.
Absolutely.
I asked,
Excuse my,
Okay,
Mr. Domingo,
well,
you're talking,
listen.
no, listen to the whole, Mr. Domingo, you're talking about somebody that worked on grants.
Listen, I don't care you worked on grants.
No,
The
I want to
idea
tell you
that,
about
the
grants,
idea that.
Mr. Domingo, you don't count on grants because you'll never get what you
Okay,
ask.
okay, so this sweeper that's gonna show up is a figment of my imagination, right?
No, right now, it was told by the Senator Larkin's office that you will get the money, so.
Bingo.
I assume he has that money, that he's
Listen,
a little
if it
bit
takes
down.
15 months to get 2 new trucks, if it takes 2 years to put in the road projects that need to be done, that I've got the quotes on those, and those also qualify for this grant money, we're putting it in. There's supposedly billions of dollars sitting up there, and it's about time that they start paying the municipalities for some of this, rather than, I understand, bridges need to be fixed, but it always seems to be a state project, and that money never filters down to us. So at the end of the day, we're gonna shove it down their throats and be done with it, because it's out of control. Good speech about what the state's doing to us, that's a home run. They're squeezing us to death for every freaking penny. It's like you wake up one morning and all of a sudden you're like, where'd that $100 go? And it's times 100 in trying to operate and get this municipality to function the way it should normally. I wish it was 20 years ago, it was easy. We had $1 million fund balance, and we never had to borrow a dime, because everything we could do was basically to the fund balance. So it's a tough battle, and we're gonna push to get these grants. So that's my comment.
Trustee Domingo,
I know it's hard,
no,
but
Trustee Domingo, I understand your comment, but I just want to explain one thing to these trustees and the board. I just finished coming out of applying for grants for $1,200,000. We received $301,000. Quoting what just Mr. Domingo says, when I called and I wanted to appeal, send an appeal why they denied certain projects, I was told by the regional director who controls the money of all the regions in Orange County and a couple other counties. He says to me, he says, Joe, he called me, he says, Joe, he says, I have 10 times the amount of money in applicants applying for grants than the federal government's going to give me. He said, so he says to me, you got $301,000. I said, yeah, but I feel that I want to appeal for the rest. We deserve that. He says, Joe, again, I'm telling you, you got $301,000. I got 10 times the amount of applicants asking for money that the government's going to give me. In reality, I left with the understanding of saying, you got $301,000. We thank you. You ain't getting home.
What was that?
That money was brought in, it had 17 different categories of areas. We filled out 17 different applications, with 17 different areas.
So it's 74.
Yes, it's 17. So the point I'm bringing out, for Mr. Domingo to understand, yes, there's $100 million up there, there's $5 billion up there. Let's go grab part of it. Try to get part of it. When you go get it, you know what you stand to get? Huh? Nothing. They could deny it, and then where you stand.
Well, you know
So
what?
don't- No, wait,
You
let
know
me
what?
finish, Mr. Domingo,
Dude,
let me tell you, please don't bite yourself on grants of getting it. Don't lose your vision that grant money's gonna do it.
I'm gonna use every vision I
It's not
can
a,
to
it's
go
not a done
after
deal.
whatever I can go after to take those costs off our backs.
Mr.
We
Domingo,
all
I
live
agree with
here,
you, I did
all right?
that.
So at the end of the day, whatever it takes, and when it comes election time, and we're looking for a governor, and if that money doesn't come our way, well, you know what? Get rid of the guy. Because the money needs to come down to the municipalities, end of story. So, and I get the grant, but you know what? We try, we push, we try and we push.
I just want to give a little history on grants, because you can't read the, listen to me, I just want to tell you. I applied for a grant for $1,500 for cleaning out the district. You know what? They denied it.
I get it,
$1,500.
I get it, I get it.
You get the point I'm bringing up? Don't count on grants for your vision.
I don't want to sound like an old, but I've been doing this long enough to understand where they are with grants, and when the money comes and when the money goes. But the challenge is, they hang the carrot in front of you, and everybody gives up because it's too damn hard. I get it. But you know what? I don't give up. When I bite, I don't let go. And I'm gonna keep pushing and keep trying until we get the money. End of story.
Or get part of it.
Or whatever. I don't care if it's half
Definitely, I
of the
agree
money.
with you. Go.
It doesn't, that means half that money, we don't have to take off or
Because
off the residents.
I did it, it's time consuming, I went through 12 different perspectives
That's fine.
and giving them answers and questions.
Okay, let me move
Give
on,
me
Joe,
this-
because-
Go ahead, move on.
Thank you. I got just a couple, I think, but I just wanted to point out. So I just want to point out too, compared to last year's roads, that was just a note. For maintenance of roads, we had total budgeted for, and you'll see it, it's on page 7, right? We had last year 650,000, and this year's budget comes in at 647 total for that particular section of that line item. All in total for DPW highway, last year was 925,000, this year's 914,000. Just to the point that we're trying to chip away, save where we can, and add where we can. Recreation. That would be on page 9. Well, it was A714043 is the skateboard park. And again, unfortunately, we're gonna have to try to get grants for this because what we're trying to do, we have a number of initiatives for recreation purposes down at Burn Alley Park with the skateboard park that used to be there. We're trying to get that thing refinished, basically get it cleaned up, resurfaced, so that we can use that for T-ball for, I mean, contact with, I know it's getting a little off base, but just so you know where the money's going, we're trying to get some like AstroTurf that we can put over this. So T-ball, because we have lights there, T-ball can play, because we have such an influx of young kids playing softball and hardball, that we can put down a turf, and because we just don't have any fields for them, they could play T-ball in that particular space. Again, we have the lights, so there's a lot of opportunities for residents to use the space. I have a budget analyzed, all I need to do is go for the grant money, unfortunately, but it would be to put a track around Averham Park, run a basically 4 or 6 foot width asphalt along the green area, all the way to the Memorial Park, turn it around, so that you'd be able to have some recreation purposes. That's where, excuse me, this is where we would like to, that's where this really belongs, but of course, that would be enlarging, obviously, the percentage and everything else, that's where it needs to go, but I just wanted to mention that. But other than that, this is just maintenance of equipment.
Mr. Domingo, to answer to that, I do understand what you're saying, and I believe that the discussion was brought to us trustees about a year ago, and we were all in favor for it, we thought it was a good idea,
Right.
and that the money was either coming from a grant or private donations that they were going out. The president of the Little League told us he can get some money from different private organizations. It doesn't cost much to put that up, so
Okay.
I don't know where that comes in with budget discussion. I just don't know. It's not a budgetary discussion either.
I just threw it out there, Joe, because it has to do with recreation, and that's
Yeah, but it's
where,
not gonna be in the budget, you're gonna get private funds for that, we're the budget, no money for that. That's gonna come privately, by private donations.
All right,
Yes,
Mr. Domingo is finished with his. So you have a few items to tweak?
Yeah, let me get some answers and then we can take it from there.
Thank you.
We have several line items for paychecks. This company writes out checks for all the village users. And according to the numbers in the different line items, it equals $16,000. A lot of money. Have someone, and each department head spends about an hour and a half to 2 hours per week coming up with their payroll. So I think it's important that we try to come up with a different system. $16,000 for something to write out checks, it's crazy.
You could take that in next year's budget. Right now, we have no alternative, we're under agreement with them, so you have to.
Well, I'm not too sure if we're in the agreement.
All right, what I can do...
No, we are. I think we got a 3-year agreement. They end this year and next year. You have to ask the treasurer when we have that.
You want to do the question?
Paychecks. I mean, it's $16,000.
Contract right
I don't know, this was put in, I believe, by Ms. Pullman, okay? When was the last time she was on the board? 5 years ago? Less than that? Well, let's see how much it takes to break the agreement.
I think it's a 3-year agreement.
So it might cost $10,000 to break the agreement, we're still saving $6,000.
All right, so you want to...
So you could.
I'm still waiting for them to return my phone calls in September.
Mr. Bucko, I'll let you, just to give you a little FYI, what you, trustee DeVico, are looking into revising, assuming it comes to $10,000 below this budget. If you take a budget this size and reduce it to $10,000, do you have offhand an idea how much it'll reduce the taxes? $10,000? How much would it reduce it? You want me to tell you? A fraction of a cent.
But everyone in here pays taxes.
Yes, a fraction of a cent.
Everyone in here pays taxes, so we're not gonna do that.
Almost everyone pays.
All right,
Wait, no, not yet.
one second. I'm going to take a few questions right now, but I still have 2 trustees that are going to have to get heard. If you got questions on something you have to research, we can do that. So, and it's going to take down whatever questions you have that may have to be researched.
Please be louder.
All right, so we're going to,
What do you want to say?
Ed is going to take down your questions if it needs to be, you have to get followed up on research.
It's not really a question. It's, first of all, local governments are pleading with residents to be more involved. I'm sure you haven't had a board meeting this full in quite a long time. I think it's, I don't want to use the word shameful, but I think, Mr. Mayor, when this many people come out, you should have heard them before you started the budgetary discussion. I understand that we weren't here at the last meeting, but when you have this many people come out, you should have heard the people. There's a new awakening in Blooming Grove in Washington. And I think that it would implore you to listen to the people that are involved. And secondly, Mr. Galante, the 40% Mr. Bucko was talking about, when you spend 10 minutes talking about budgets year by year, that 40%, I think everybody in the crowd understood what he meant. He meant if the 12% went in, it would be 40, I understood. I could have explained it to you in about 2 seconds. Mr. Galante, let me finish. If the 12% budget went in, it's a 40% raise over 4 years. I know because I bought the building with a 25% increase. So I know, so if you include the 12%, that's 40%. It's simple math. You know, because you backed it up a year, it makes it appear like 30-something%. But everybody knew what Mr. Bucko was saying. If you included 12%, it's 40% over 4 years. And how do residents and business owners continue to support that? I think everybody in this room would be okay with a 3% raise or a 2% raise if they saw something for it. But after a 25% raise, when the board said, oh, it was less on the last administration, they'll take care of it for several years, and now 2-3 years later, you're looking at a 20 or a 12% raise. And the one comment about using the reserves, everybody in this room has to balance their household budgets. Everyone. So now you're gonna take 200,000 from the reserves, almost 2/3 of the reserves, to keep the taxes down to 5%. There's gotta be a better way. Whether you're raising taxes a little bit more the prior 2 years, but to use $200,000 in reserves out of 325 or 40, that's a lot of money out of reserves in case something goes wrong.
We had a broken promise that the governor, they were gonna do something to alleviate the mandate. That didn't happen. So we waited long enough. We can't wait anymore. They're gonna kill us this way. You're trying to do it the right way, trying to do it with the governor, okay, which I'm not a fan of, okay? And you're trying to do it that way to try to help the public. If that's wrong, then I made a mistake trying to help the public. I looked at it the other way. I looked at it as if, well, we're keeping their taxes low and help. I can't control school, the county, I can't control things.
But you pay the village tax. Like a 40% on a 4 years increase. I don't care if the tax is $1,000, but it's still 40%. And I understand you guys have a much thankless job. You have a hard job.
To answer your question about that 10% deal, you say he was projecting on, assuming that this board was going to go tonight with a 12%.
Well, the budget that was proposed at the last meeting.
Right. We came with a 5.75%, so let's go back to the 4 years now and say 2016, 17.
Mr. Monti, I'm not gonna go over that. But he was talking about, if it was 12%, it would be a 40% raise over 4 years. It's simple math. Everybody here gets it. Everybody. So it's not even going through. We understand what you're saying. We understand what you're saying. That's the thing we have when it comes to budget.
35% is too much.
Yeah.
31.
31, that's still too much.
Too much.
Drain the swamp.
Yes.
Sweeten the pot.
I have something to go with the budget. No, I want to present the budget.
Contribute to the budget, you can lower it or raise it.
I want to make, as a trustee, I want to make the other trustees, my position on the budget that we got 2 other trustees that have.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
the
it was a
public's
good
hearing,
point.
Mr. Galante,
It was a
hear
good
them and then
point.
go through it. Let them ask some questions and then go through it. You should ask the public's comments
It's up to the
first.
mayor how we.
I know, but you're coaching
Well,
me.
we should go down the line. I mean, this is actually a trustees meeting, and then this way the audience.
I think the mayor can speak. Let's let the mayor speak.
And then they can give their.
I know the mayor decided to ask a couple of
Let me
questions.
ask,
so
go ahead. Do you have anything
No,
else?
that's it, thank you, Scott.
Corinne?
Yes, I would like to implore the board to please, I reiterate everything Kevin said, please listen. We have to look at these things differently. The budget that was passed out, that I understand is not what you guys are looking at, it's a 5%. But the fact that a budget was put out with no revenue, the second line item, it shows a $3 million windfall in the Fund A. Nobody even mentions it. I mean, this was a budget that was put out. I mean, there's questions here. How do you get to some of these numbers? I think Mr. Bucko asked that in the beginning. How did you get from 12 to 5? Tell me that these contingencies are based on something.
I mentioned it earlier. That was all the departments handling in their budgets as they requested in October. They had till October.
That was the first one at 21%, I understand that, then 12
That's
and
where
now
that,
5.
you had to have a starting number, that's what the starting.
Okay, so but when I look at numbers and just numbers, the first line item shows revenue coming in actual at $3,202,525. The second, 2015 to 2016, you're saying we took in no property taxes. And And if you follow that through your budget, that means that our revenue for that year was 1.6 million and our expenditures was over 1.7. Where is that $3 million? Where is that? This is based on nothing. It's the second item.
Let's use the money in the budget with the auditor, get a new auditor and have everything ordered.
It's real property taxes. It's the first line item. Does everybody see the zero? This is money that we took in. It's gone on our budget.
Say that again.
Give me your glasses.
So when you follow this through, you're
If it's not in the computer, we'll print it out. But during that fiscal year, the average
This is
revenue coming in
public,
was
this is being handed out, Mr. Gallant, this is being
$33.
handed out as public information.
But it should be put because it wasn't put in.
It should have been read before it was handed out. It should have been read and back directed before it was handed out.
Yeah.
So to get back to my original statement, please listen. We are paying attention. We are paying attention. And I hope we continue to show up at these meetings, even just to watch this ridiculousness. And please tell everybody about it, because this is up to us to make sure that this runs correctly.
But it's also tough when you have a mayor that appoints a trustee that is voted out.
But
that
guess
no one
what?
wanted,
Guess
and
what?
then-
We vote the mayor in.
Right,
I mean, and I'm
but-
not
but
saying
you know what I'm
that,
saying? That's-
absolutely,
How does that make the residents feel? When we have a guy here that was voted out, no one wanted him, and he was put back in.
And we're now arguing with that now. Yes, I get it.
It's shady.
But this is, but if anything comes out of this meeting besides this 5 or 12 or 21%,
Hold on a
we
second.
have to pay attention.
This is a budget,
I understand.
that has nothing to do with the election. So you want to talk to me, I'll talk
But
to
he's speaking on behalf of the board about the
you.
budget,
Because he's a board member.
by your choice, not by our choice.
Because he speaks for you. It looks like he's the puppet master. And that's why you appointed him back in, because he's the only one who knows.
Because he's the swing
When
vote
you
for
were
the
asked
three
the
of them,
question
that's
at
why.
previous meeting on YouTube, Mr. Galante, you know that I know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
but let me tell you why I.
You don't have to tell me about this, sweetheart. I know. I'm good.
10 years.
Yeah, so all the money that you spoke about, oh, it was the other mayor. You've been here all that time, and you've made no change either. But here you are, back sitting in the same place, pointing fingers at other places. And everybody's paying too much taxes. Where is there something in your budget for my 3-year-old? Where is something in there? I see stuff for seniors, yeah, what?
Recreation?
Tell me where? What are you gonna do? You gonna take that and buy a new chipper?
We don't
You
have
wanna
any
break the
recreation
chipper?
for children like that no longer.
You're giving nothing back to people all this time.
At what age?
You're giving nothing back to people, and if it's my understanding that you have an apartment and don't pay taxes. Neither does Mr. Hyde. The 3 other trustees do. I do. What do you pay? What kind of taxes? You pay homeowners? Where do you live?
I own 69 Yorkshire Terrace.
Really? Oh,
I'm a
okay.
lifetime estate there. I own that.
You live there?
No, my daughter lived there, but I
Oh,
own it.
oh.
I still pay taxes.
You pay them?
No, my daughter pays.
Oh, my God. That's not you, and she's not on our board. She's not on our board. If you did this the past 10 years, it's been disgraceful what's going on. I've watched you personally attack Bucko, personally attack Vinco on their opinions. I have been in meetings prior to this, years in the past, where I've watched you and Mr. Hudson go at it. You just sat here right now and brought him up again. I don't even think Mr. Figueroa wants to say anything because he's trying to save the rest of the hair on his head.
But he never says anything at any meeting, so we
Come
can't
on,
even say that.
Mr. Gallardi, come on, you went after the both of them for their
I think
opinion
you're being
on
a little
looking how to
unfair.
minimize things. And then you told Mr. Domingo, don't put in for those, it's too time consuming. Well, what do you take your salary out of here for? To come to a meeting and look cute? No, I'm not being rude, I'm being brutally honest with you.
I don't think you don't, you told me that.
It's time for
I
others, you
don't
don't
want
need
to have
that,
to do this,
brother.
but you know, it's getting to the point where I'm gonna shut people down. Because I'm trying
Oh.
to give you a voice.
Yay! You don't gotta shut me down, I go home.
You do it,
I gotta
and
do
you turn around, and you turn it around, and that's what I want people to do.
Get it? He'll never change. Thank God he can get voted out. Don't forget to vote for mayor. Come back to the meetings, watch them on YouTube. Maybe Country Kitchen can stay open for another.
Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for opening up for comments. I really appreciate that you're allowing us to use our voice. According to the Village of Washingtonville website, the homepage states that Washingtonville is a quaint, scenic village to raise a family. It's becoming increasingly difficult to raise a family here. With a 25% increase that we faced in 2014, 2015, and now an added proposed, whether it's 5 or 12%, it makes the residents pause and wonder why. When I moved here in 2003, we had lived in a village that had a skateboard park. Well, now 50% of that is gone, and it has not been replaced. As she stated, what do I have for the kids? You know, everybody's talking about kids and drugs. And how,
Oh wait,
know,
the
it's
hypodermic
everywhere.
needles that were
There you
found
go.
for the second time in
There you
8
go.
months?
Activities to keep our kids busy, and I don't see anything in the budget. And just so you know, it is becoming increasingly difficult to raise families, to feed families. In the schools that they've now had to establish a backpack program so that families can feed their children on the weekend when they don't have the hot lunch program. And in the summertime, the Catholic Sisters were able to work with other organizations in the school to provide lunches every day in the summer when school isn't available for the breakfast and the lunch program. 5% is just 20-25%. Enough is enough. You know, at what point? I'm looking at this postage, and let me suggest, I think before all of this starts, maybe September, October, there should be an educational thing. Maybe have your accountant come in and teach the village how a budget works, how a budget is built. Maybe understanding what a line item is and what these things are. Because I'm looking at this postage, and in 2014, 2015, it was $218.20. And in 2015, 2016, we're looking at $2,620 in the age of internet and email. It just makes me wonder. So maybe we can educate our residents, have a workshop sometime September, October before we start floating the budget to explain how a budget works, how it is built. And just, I mean, at some point you have to say, you know, a rock is a rock. I can't. I'm tightening my belt. I think we got to figure out how to do it for our village. There are too many homes for sale. There's so many foreclosures. If you go online, enough is enough. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I have a question. Why was 4:30 in the afternoon picked for this meeting? For the majority of people who work in the village. And then it was picked for 4:30. There was another shady deal that passed through.
It's shady.
Some of the special meetings, if it has to do with employees, it doesn't, it's not done with the public. It has to be by employees. If it has to do with an employee, it can't be out on the floor.
This ain't an employee.
I'm saying, if a special meeting was held and it was an employee issue, it's not put on the floor.
Well, I'm talking about this meeting.
Right now, the budget.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah. Well, you know what, I have a good idea of what to do. Basically, I'm gonna put up a resolution that all meetings, special meetings and whatnot are held at 7 o'clock at night on a certain day. And if it has to pertain to a special type of incident, which could be, say, the budget or whatnot, a budget hearing, they will pick a different day other than the regular meeting night so that you can fit it all in. Because once you get into the budget stuff, it takes a lot longer. So maybe I'll just put up a resolution that from now on, special meetings have to be at 7 p.m. and pick a day other than a regular meeting night so that it's all crammed into one area.
That's a good
Does that
idea.
sound all right?
That's it. It's a good idea.
Thank you.
I'll make that. Oh, Paul.
Mayor, the budget that you have in your hand and what budget that the people have in their hand down here, proposed revenue on the revenue ledgers Fund A $3.3 million, $3,330,000. All right? Now I understand that the village attorney said that this is the budget that had to be handed out to the people. But the budget in front of you folks up on the board there shows a real property taxes revenue fund A as $3,658,000, $686. How do you account for the additional $328,486 in revenue? Does that contribute to that decrease in the budget? Where did that money come from?
That money, Mr. Lang, that money is a projection of the 5.75% increase in taxes, which brings about $128,000 in revenue.
That's a 5-point increase in taxes?
If we went with the 5.3%, 5.75% increase in taxes, our revenue from that increase, which we would be receiving, would be an additional 100, we had 128,000.
So a 12% increase is less money? 12% increase would have been brought in less money?
12% increase?
Yeah, because that's 3.3 million. This budget dated 1/13 is 12%. The revenue on the 1/13, the one that was printed 1/13, and everybody has here, says 3,330,000.
You got one that was just a projection one. The one that we're sitting at here, the 120. You had the one from the December 29th.
No, I have one dated January 13th, and I have one dated January 20th.
You have to look at the one January 20th, the one is 113.
$3,658,000. $3,658,000.
Look at the one dated 120.
Revenue, $3,658,000 and 15 cents.
That's not right.
So it went up $328,000, and you're telling me that you reduced it from 12 to 5.74. So how did you get an additional $328,000 in revenue?
Of the 5.75% revenue that we projected that we're going to gain in tax money, added that's how much more revenue we're going to get.
So now the previous budget was 12%. The one that these people are holding here was a 12% budget. And it says $3.3 million.
What he's saying is that 113 is the budget that was 12.40%, that had a real property taxes of $3.3 million, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
3.3.
Now, the budget of 120, which only has a 5% plus 5.74729 is 3.65%. It's a lesser number than it went up. How do we get more revenue?
More revenue on less increase.
Yes. That doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying.
Why couldn't we get the 120? Why would we get the 113?
Great question.
Orange is now. Does anybody have the 120?
Who's got the 113? Hold it up. Who's got the 120? Hold it up. So that's not right.
What I was told, Ben Daly said that the public hearing on the budget had already been held on January 17th, and that tonight, the people were to get the budget that was dated 1/13 and was handed out that night. Because this is not a public hearing on the budget.
No, it's not.
Well, I understand that Ben Daly said that that's the budget that's supposed to happen.
We have put it on the 5.34%, or they want to go back to the table and cut it.
If you got the 120, why can't we have the 120?
I think that you can have loans because all the time.
So here's my question. Why instead of giving out budgets that you haven't completed or
All the
an
time
item,
when
why are
I
you giving
had
us the
something
numbers?
was done with
The real numbers, not the numbers that you want us to see, not the numbers from the last meeting. Why are you giving us the information that you have in front of you so we can follow along? Instead of looking at this and saying, wait, what are they talking about? Because that's what everybody's sitting here doing. You have different pages, you have different numbers, and like I've said at the meetings before, why are we not getting all the facts? You're all talking about stuff, you're all doing this, you're all doing that. Money's missing, money is shoved over here, money shoved down there, money shoved everywhere else. But it's not here, it's not making sense, and I think everybody here got it. It's not making sense, and if it's not making sense, it's not right. So why don't you make copies of everything? Have the girls run it off, since you're using, what, $3,000 in, postage that nobody's getting anything. And, you're making copies of stuff. For who are you making copies for? What are we spending all this money on? Supplies for the office. You're not giving us anything, you're giving us junk, which is gonna go into the garbage, which isn't what we need. We need the facts. The budget as you have it in front of you, not this.
Well, the thing is that you have the budget that was handed out on the budget night, which was
I got
that's
it.
the one that had to go out.
I got it. But I got the budget that you have in your hands. So that budget should have been copied by the girls that were paid.
These numbers, misinformation.
Right, yes, it's misinformation and you're not understanding it. We have Joe Galante arguing with everybody, like talking about stuff that doesn't even matter, because it doesn't matter. What happened 5 years ago doesn't matter anymore, because here we are now with a 25% increase. I was in my house a month and the increase went up. So here you are wanting to do more increases. Let's talk about the money now, the money that we have now. Why is it going up? Why are we, we're going up from $65 for, what was it, courses or something that you guys are taking, dues and travel? Come on, we're going from $65 to like $3,000. Right.
So you can't get back the money we invested in the real estate, but yet you want to jack up our taxes.
First thing is that tonight, as it was explained in the beginning, this is tentative, this is a new number that's in here.
Got it.
Not this
So
one.
got it, but this is the whole number. So people are getting mad because you're not giving them the information that's in front of you. We're trying to look at the numbers and follow along with what you guys are saying, but since we don't have the proper information, it's useless. And that's what everybody here is saying, and nobody is listening. You're not listening, and this is the problem with this village. And this is why everybody is so mad. Why don't you stop talking and start listening? That's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we would listen more and talk less. But we have people who are arguing with other trustees, arguing with everybody, saying that we don't know what we're talking about. Everybody's paying attention to you guys, and you're not doing the right thing. So how about stop the nonsense, make the copies, give the people the right information, and let's get down to business. Let's start cutting this budget, like Louisa said, let's get down, we all have to budget our household, it's the same exact way, it's exactly what she said, get it together.
And we have a trustee that everyone voted out. No one wanted it. You weren't voted in, Joe.
Mr. Lamb, doesn't matter
He just said, he said, he paid his dues. That's why he said. Yes, we did not vote for you. You got appointed by another man. So don't start this by saying you made your dues.
the reason I made the statement before that this is a made-up budget, okay? At 12%, we had a real property tax of $3.3 million. The budget that you gave, and that was dated January 13th. The budget that we received the other day dated January 20th, at 5.747%, there's a real property tax of $3.6 million. So which one is it? Is it the $3.6 million or is it the $3.3 million? That's the first number on the page. It doesn't matter, everything after that means nothing. If this number is not correct, nothing means anything. Okay? I don't understand. Right out of the box, we got it wrong. Okay? And then you stop me when you... No, there is no answer.
I have the answer here.
What's the answer? Okay, give me the answer.
Okay, here's how we come to the budget. Taxes brought forward.
No. No,
Why do we have different information
that's not
than
the
you?
question. The question is, at 5.7%, we have $300,000 more than a budget at 12%. How does that work?
Hey, I'm gonna do it right now. You go to oh, jeez,
This is what
this is
I'm gonna tell you, the old one is the old one, that was 12% which we rejected. We went back to this one. I'm gonna give you what's in the budget we have here.
Okay.
And you wanna know the difference, I'm gonna tell you the difference.
This is a couple of minutes I'm never gonna get back. Go ahead.
The taxes that we get right now from the 2016-17 budget was $3,330,200.
At 12%.
Right. No, that's what we're in now. Forget about the 12%.
You're not understanding. Joe, if you add 12% to any number, it's more than 5.74% to any number. It's that simple.
And 330,000, 126,686, and 200,000, and you're from 6,558,000.
Whatever.
Okay? That's the answer.
Okay.
This is not going to be done until the trustees put in memos and the other cuts that are in here. Okay? So this what we're doing right now is still not the real one yet, because it's gonna change. It's tentative until finally it comes up and says, this is the final budget. It's not
So is
the
there
final
gonna be another
budget.
meeting?
But
Is there gonna be another meeting?
after we get this together, it has to be discussed again to say, yes, okay, we're gonna have a special meeting and say, this is the best we can come up with as far as budget. And that'll be it. It's gotta be done before February 1st.
How are you gonna work the village? Are you gonna send out mailings that this is the meeting, this is the day and time?
Put it up on the website. we'll pay.
Not everybody has access to the internet.
Wasn't on the website for tonight. Wasn't on.
We'll use the, ladies and gentlemen, David. Once we know the date of the meeting for notification, we'll use that CTY system that we have. So if you're in that system, you'll receive, depending on how you put it into the system, your phone, your home phone, your cell phone, email, text, or whatever. So you'll get the notification in some way, some shape, okay? And it will also be on the website for anybody who browses the internet versus getting a text.
What about Facebook? You got a Facebook page too?
Yeah.
You know, if you try to roll a basis, if you're a resident, it comes to your phone or email, I mean, you should be getting it. I mean,
Will be at the later time.
we'll do that at 7 o'clock.
Well, we only have a week really to come up with, and that's including Saturday and Sunday. I'm open to a Saturday. Okay? I don't know how everyone else feels. But if we have to send this thing up to wherever it goes,
That's gonna stay.
Can't you file for an extension?
No.
what is the penalty to the village if it goes beyond February 1st?
Honestly, don't know what's ever happened.
I believe you stick with the austerity
12% budget.
No, it's an austerity budget. If you don't adopt it, you adopt what you had last year.
That's the one you have.
And that's the one you'll see.
And
So today being the
our attorney
25th,
lied to me because he told me that we go back to the budget that everyone sat in here on, so it would be the 113 budget.
well, I don't know how that can be, because we never voted for it. So I don't know how that could
That's,
happen.
well,
I'm just saying.
I didn't hire these
I'm just
attorneys.
saying, So we need to qualify that. So
Yeah.
today's the 25th, right? So you got 26, 27, you got Monday's the 30th. So I would say we meet on the 1st. Okay. Oh, the 1st is gotta be it. So the 30th.
Monday?
30th to Monday? Gotta be. And by chance, if the budget is, I'm gonna speak for you, I guess. But if the budget is ready before then, we'll send out the CTY message, okay?
How do you get the name of the CTY? Because I was in there and I don't think the message
So it
was
has to be.
If you go to the village website, there should be a portal on the bottom on the website saying CTY. and click on that, it gives you instructions on how to add your information. If you run into an issue, if anybody runs into an issue, just call Village Hall, or my cell number, if I do it, is 845-849-4523. All right?
So really, the first thing we have to do is what's the real property taxes? Okay? I sort of like the 12% one because it's $600,000 less than the 5%. Everyone else feels about that. That doesn't make any sense, though, does it? What's that?
I said, she's saying it wrong. How can the 5% be more money than the 12%?
Yes.
So I think you gotta go over.
You think?
Because I think what happened, with that one, what I think happened is that the revenue wasn't put in the number. So, but, no, what they're saying, no, on the previous budget, revenue that was predicted was not.
So the next meeting, being that the public meeting was the last meeting and this is the trustee meeting, being that this isn't the right budget, the next meeting should be a public meeting, not a trustee meeting,
Yes,
so that we have the right to be heard at that meeting.
All meetings are public meetings. If
Well,
there's
he wanted
three
to
or
say that he
more
has a choice today,
trustees.
so I want to make sure that he doesn't have the choice.
So everybody's clear. Anybody who has a meeting and there's 3 trustees, it's considered a meeting. And it's a public meeting. We have a quorum, it's a meeting.
She wants the public to
Okay?
be heard.
So you can be heard at every meeting, regardless, work session or regular
Okay,
meeting,
when I walked in, he
special
was
meeting,
explaining
as
that
long as it's not
he was making
anything
that
to do
decision.
with an executive session meeting that would require a conversation about an employee issue. That's private behind the doors, right? Because no one wants anybody to be discussed out in public. Yes,
If it's gonna be Monday the 30th, what time?
7 o'clock.
That's the word.
Now, we'll put it over to CTY probably tomorrow, okay?
Anybody? Anyone else?
In this budget, you show leasing 2 cars and 2 Fords for $38,000. How long is that lease?
And all you guys did that, I don't know if that's 3 years? 3 years.
I can hear you.
You get it for $1.
We get it for $1. Then why is there $38,000 in the budget?
Now, it's a 3-year lease, what they said, and after the 3 years, you take the car for $1. They sell it to you for $1.
That's the old.
With the 120,000 miles.
3 years, hopefully not. That's
What the miles you use.
And then we also have a 2017 Dixie chopper for $8,900. Do we really need another lawnmower and to spend $8,900 on it? Did we get another part that I don't know about?
No, we didn't get any more parts, but,
Is one
if you live
broken?
next, the problem with the village. The problem with the village is we have an enormous amount of green areas. More than, so when all these developments were built, if you happen to go down or go up Capitol Drive, say it's between Congress and Capitol, there's a green area. We're eventually responsible. The good news is most of the homeowners take it upon themselves to mow that stuff to make it look nice, which is a godsend on us because we can't mow 20 acres of property. We have 4 DPW guys, and in the summertime, they should be working on roads and doing those maintenance type stuff. What we end up doing is hiring 2, possibly 3 high schoolers, and we have one of the DPW guys normally supervising them, and they are the crews that mow the lawns.
Okay, but my question is, did one break? Because why would we need another one in addition to the ones that we had if last year they worked? They covered the same amount of
I believe we
land.
did lose one, but I can check and get back to you.
The one that they have is old, they've been having it more than 5 years old. So they need a new one, they need to send the board, you know?
I will have that answer.
Thank you.
I've been here 50 years, and the reason you got so many green areas is you let Rieger come in and build houses in the wetlands. And he had to give that green areas up to the wetlands. That's why you got stuck. So So it's back to the village original.
No, I agree with you, and the zoning, not so much the zoning, because you go into areas that there's no wetlands. The problem is there's voids in the property. So it gave a buffer between your house, say, and your neighbor. Well, take yourself in.
Newcastle was a wetland.
Take your house and Katie's house.
Newcastle was a wetland.
Well, there was a lot, that's why you've got the big pond, because we're going
Well, because I went to
taking out
DEC
some of
about
that
it.
stuff.
That's
Right.
why we got the
Right,
pond.
that's why you've got that big pond, because the Army Corps of Engineers told me how to replace what they took away.
We also inherited the 14 homes that we bought out. That's village property, we're responsible for maintaining that as well. So that's another addition. So you disagree with the state.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, they'll have the village.
I have a question. Y'all may be making my year, but you have $37,000 for snow removal overtime. We haven't, so last year it was 10,000 and this year's 37,000. Y'all know something that we know about snow this year? It just seems so big.
We're bringing up a line item that's hard to project, so what we.
But 37,000
We
from
have to
10?
department heads, give us a projection what you think you need.
That's what I think we could lower.
No overtime is a crapshoot. We have, you see, that's why when a budget is built the way it is, it's built on the assumption that they may use the money, they may not use the money, and that's where fund balance comes in. If they don't use your money, if they use all their money, and there's reasons why, and the trustees approve it, then you wanna know something, at the end of the year, they didn't have enough money to do the services they had to do.
I think you need to lower that just a little bit.
That was cut, that was cut by $2,000. Right, but what you have there, the new budget has a cut of $2,000.
35,000 is there?
Still a 25,000 increase.
From 10,000 from last year, 25,000 down. So what actually happens to the surplus? How do you get it out?
So that doing the outset of
We also have a problem with the backhoe that they plan on using tonight, the snow removal, broke. So that part comes in at the end of the week. So I don't know if they're gonna be able to move the mountains of snow. The town said no, so. Okay, well, we need to see, the problem is that no money was ever put into these things, or no maintenance was ever kept on these things. Well, they broke, and now we have to fix them, or we have to buy new. All right, and that could have come from the 2 years of 1.0030418%. Okay, where you can't run a business on that budget. So what I'm hearing tonight, correct me if I'm wrong, okay, that's a ridiculous amount of money, low, and then every other year, every 2 years, it could be double digits. It's wrong, okay? We need to get a plan, okay, as a village, to see where we're going with this. Not only does the moratorium and the zoning, and so how do we want to see the village in 12 years as far as zoning and building is concerned, but how do we want our living conditions to be 10, 20, 30 years? Okay, right now, nothing is working. Nothing is working, and getting back, we still don't know how much real property tax we're getting. So right out of the box, we were wrong. Okay, the budget is wrong. I said that at 4:33. You're not making sense.
And all those years, I've never seen them flush out the fire hydrants in our cul-de-sac. And I asked somebody from DPW, why hasn't that been done? And they tell me it was their lack of personnel. Not to mention, well, how do we even know if that fire hydrant works?
Even works, correct.
And I remember there was something that fire hydrant or something, and it was came out of it. So we don't know if they're protected with that fire hydrant. So how come they don't get flushed out?
There's a couple of reasons that you said. There's lack of personnel, but it's lack of seeing tomorrow. We're still worrying about yesterday, and we need to see tomorrow.
In relation to her question, the fire company, we used to play behind the all the time, it's automatic.
No.
But
The
I
fire
don't
company
believe
doesn't do it anymore.
right, it used to be on a schedule, and how long ago was that?
He's gonna get it from me.
When did that schedule go away? When did that schedule?
I don't know, I've been here over 50 years, so I've been in the fire company, so, but we always did the flush on the light.
10 years?
Oh, Bob, yeah, got at least that.
It's a valid point. If something happens, this fire hydrant work.
Oh, you had one by the school that was out of service for 5 years.
They put a band over it, yeah. And you guess what it is that you drive by. You're right.
So the promise to have it done, how do you get it done? I mean, they didn't even plow out our cul-de-sac today. It's like still got snow all around it. And last time the snow, we had it all. Because the mailman was complaining. He said, you're the only cul-de-sac that they don't clean out right away. Everybody else gets cleaned out but us. So, I don't know.
Is it clean now?
No.
It's not.
The house is like, ruts all around the cul-de-sac. And it's blowing up.
When that happens, you have a good point. When that happens, I guess right now,
They didn't, but wait up there.
I shouldn't have to do that. They know the secret. I mean, they said we weren't dedicated, they filed us in. At the end of the thing.
All right, what he had to do when they built new kids, he had to make them.
We're gonna make these changes on this and,
And some of these pieces that tell me where it's
How are you? I want to get together
Contract the builder. Put that in. Now the sign is on the other building. The sign keeps going to Campbell Hall. Now we're over there, sign now, so look at that. It used to be right by the CYO. Village is getting bigger, just like I am over here. But now it is, I used to work, we got laid off with new cars. And we were thinking, you shovel the curbs out. Then we put it in the dump truck and haul it. And I had to ask for what. When they haul
I saw you limping the other day. Pictures and stuff.
Everyone's going by.
This is before, way before. Get the before.
Oh, they already bought it?
That was last year's purchase.
So why is it on the proposed budget?
Well, I don't want to say last year, which means this year's budget. So the $1,000 now, this is make sure that it's delayed or something like that.
Good for you. You like it?
It's different.